What do you mean by website? We know we have a web page. If it is a collection of web page, then it will be a website. So if I consider any of the website, whatever the first page that I am going to get in the website, that will be considered as what? Home page. So what are the services we can get with the help of this e-commerce? So this is very important question and most frequently asked 3-mark question it is. Hello everyone, a warm welcome to one and all. Welcome back to the revision class on chapter 16, that is Internet and Open Source Concepts. I am Rohini TS, lecturer, Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram Pre-University College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. So in this session, we are going to deal with a chapter 16, that is Internet and Open Source Concept. We'll see the marks distribution here. So you can see you are going to get one question that is for 1 mark, and you are going to get one more question from the 2 marks, that is part B, that is for 2 marks. Then we are going to get one 3-mark question. So totally you are going to get 3 questions from this chapter and it will be for 6 marks. So now we'll see the most frequently asked important question from this chapter, that is regarding 1, 2 as well as 3 marks question. So here we have a most frequently asked 1 mark important question. What is free software? So here they are asking you to write the definition of free software. What it means then? So free software means the software is freely accessible and can be freely used and can be freely changed, improved, copied and distributed by all who wish to do so. That is the definition of free software. It can be easily changed, managed, updated, can be improved, copied and it can be freely accessible. We'll see the next question. What is web server? So as we all know that we have server and client. Client is one who is requesting for the resources and server is the one who is giving the resources to the client or one who is giving the resources to the clients in order to satisfy their requirement. So here what is web server then? The web server is a www server that response made by the web browser. So with the help of web browser, client will going to send a request. So for that request, this web server will going to serve their purpose. That is the definition of this web server. We'll see the next question. Name any one web browser. So they're asking the browser. So where and all you are going to search, by using which application you are going to work. So it includes Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, Netscape Navigator, Mozilla Firefox and Opera. I have listed out 5 here. So out of this you can write any one in order to get 1 mark. Next, we'll see the next question. What is Telnet? This is also considered as what? Remote login. So this Telnet or teletype network is an older internet utility that lets you log on to the remote computer system. For example, you kept your computer or a laptop in your house, but now you wanted to access that. So if you have this Telnet utility, then you can access your computer or a laptop or any of the system without going there physically. That is what Telnet is all about. It is just a remote login that allows you to do the remote login. With the help of this utility, we can have that feature. Next, we'll see the question. Define e-commerce. What do you mean by e-commerce? Electronic commerce. So if you are doing a trade of goods and services over the internet with the help of communications or with the help of telecommunications and computer, that defined as what? E-commerce. So e-commerce states that it is a trade of goods and services with the help of telecommunication and computers. Let's see the next question. Define website. So what do you mean by website? We know we have a web page. If it is a collection of web page, then it will be a website. So that website is a collection of web pages. That web pages include images, videos and other digital assets and hosted on a particular domain on the World Wide Web. This is the definition of website. Then we'll see the next question. Then what do you mean by home page? So the web page, that is the starting page and acts as an index page, is considered as what? Home page. So if I consider any of the website, whatever the first page that I'm going to get in the website, that will be considered as what? Home page. So that is also web page, that will going to be the starting page and it will going to act as an indexed page. That will be termed as home page. We'll see the next question. So from this chapter, that is internet and open source concept, you can expect 1 mark question as an abbreviation. So that means I have listed out some of the important abbreviations from this chapter. Out of this, you can get any one of the question. We'll see the first one, that is OSS, open source software. Next, FLOSS, that is free lib and open source software. So we have a free library and open source software, and also GNU. That indicates what? GNUs, not Unix. So G indicates GNUs and N indicates not and U indicates Unix. So GNUs, not Unix, and FSF, that is free software foundation. OSI, that is Open Source Initiative. W3C, that is World Wide Web Consortium. So World Wide Web Consortium. These are the important terminologies that you can expect from this chapter 16. So that these are the important expansion can be asked for 1 marks. OSS, FLOSS, GNU, FSF, and we have OSI as well as W3C. So this is regarding 1 mark question. We'll see the 2 and 3 mark question here. So I'm not differentiating 2 and 3 mark question. Anyway, there is only 1 marks difference between 2 and 3 marks question. So all the important concepts that I have included under the category of this 2 as well as 3 marks question. That means it may be asked for either 2 marks or for 3 marks. We'll see the first question. What is web browser? Give an example. Understand, it will be for 2 marks. What is the definition of web browser? Will be for 1 marks. So if you have mentioned any one of the example, that will be for another 1 marks. What do you mean by web browser then? A web browser is a software application that enables the user to view web pages, and we can navigate websites and move from one website to another. This is the definition of this web browser. Then what are the web browsers we have? So already I have discussed in a 1 mark. That is, we have Google Chrome, we have Internet Explorer, Netscape Navigator, Mozilla Firefox, and we have Opera, we have Bing. These are the examples which comes under category of web browser. We'll see the next question. Write a note on URL, and also you can expect this URL, that is Uniform Resource Locator, for 1 mark also. That is abbreviate or give the acronym for URL. So then we'll see about this URL now. This is Uniform Resource Locator. It specifies the distinct address for each resource on the internet. That can be any of the web page, website, everything will going to have its unique address. That will going to be specified by this URL. And how it will going to look like then? So type :/address/path. So here this type specifies the type of server and address specifies the address of server, and path is the location within the file structure. And also you can see one of the example that I have mentioned here. It can be asked for either 2 or 3 mark question, and they may ask you to write what are the content we have in a URL. So that comprises of these things. That is what type will be there and address will be there, and it will going to have a path. So when you are learning any of the question, you must think about its possibilities also. This is regarding URL. We'll see the next question. What are the services of e-commerce? So what are the services we can get with the help of this e-commerce? So this is very, very important question, and most frequently asked 3 mark question it is. So what are the services we can get? Electronic data interchange, that is EDI. Electronic data interchange, EDI. And email, electronic fund transfer, EFT, electronic benefit transfer, EBT, electronic forms. That means we are going to use online forms, that is Google Forms we can most of the time say, and we have a digital cash, DC, and interoperable database access, bulletin boards in order to get the news on the internet, then electronic banking, EB, and also we have barcoding 2D, imaging, we have voice recognition. When it comes to the security, we have firewalls, encryption methodology, and gateways. So these are the services that we can expect from this e-commerce. So these are the services or technologies of e-commerce. Remember, the question may be like, what are the services or technologies of e-commerce? So out of this, you can mention any 3 to 5. Next question, define the term web page and website. It will be for 2 marks. What do you mean by web page? So web page is a document that can be viewed in a web browser. So, and it will going to reside on a website as a web page. Web page is a document that will going to be displayed or can be viewed with the help of this web browser, and it will going to be resides in a website, because collection of web pages are considered as what? Website. So this web page will going to be resides on a website. So when it comes to the B, that is website, it is a collection of web pages, and each web page will going to be the document, and it may have any kind of data, like it may consist of image, video, audio, or any kind of data it will going to include. We'll see the next question. Write any 3 advantages of e-commerce. Dear student, when you are answering these kind of question, don't get confused with the services or the technologies and advantages. Advantages are different than the services or technology. So what are the advantages I can expect from this e-commerce? So buying and selling can be done online at any time. So no restriction. If you wanted to buy any of the clothes in the online shopping, are you require any time constraint there? No, it will be available 24/7, so that it provides a faster payment through electronic fund transfer, and online payment reduces the work of carrying money to the shop, and also it will going to saves the time as well as it will saves the money. Then customer can search for competitive prices quickly before purchasing the items. Like you can have a comparison from one item to another item in the different website, so which is more reliable to you, so you can purchase that. That is also one of the important advantages of having this e-commerce. Then wider choice for item selection, so you can have n number of websites, you can have n number of vendors, so out of that there will be more choices for the selection. Without going to the shops, customer can view the products through the websites. That will going to save the time. So you can take the example of online shopping. Amazon, Flipkart, all those comes under this category, and they are providing the services to the customer. This is the question 5 that is related to advantages of e-commerce. Out of this, you can write any 3 points. Next, explain open source software. So this is important topic from this chapter. What do you mean by open source software here? Open source software can be freely used but does not have to be freely of charge. So you can use its source code, you can make it changes, but you have to pay something. That is what open source software. So the software, that is its source code is freely available, but you have to pay something in order to get all the benefits out of that source code. So this open source software not only giving the source code, along with that it will going to have some of the criteria, like it has a free distribution, free redistribution, source code will be available, and we can have a derived works, and it will not going to discriminate against persons or a group. It is also not going to discriminate against this fields or a groups. So we can have a distribution of a license, and license must not be specific to a particular product. It must be common to every product, and the license must not restrict on the other software. It should not affect on other software, where we are going to have this open source software in the same system, and license must be technology natural. So that these are the important aspects, or these are the important criteria that I can get with the help of this open source software. Write the definition and write its following criteria. Next, we'll see the next question. Very important question from this chapter. What is e-commerce? Briefly explain any 2 types of e-commerce. This will be for 2 marks. This definition is for 1 mark. So that already we know the definition of e-commerce: trading of goods and services over the internet or with the help of telecommunication and computer will be termed as e-commerce. So what are the types we have in a e-commerce? Business to business, B2B, and we have business to consumer, B2C, consumer to business, C2B, consumer to consumer, C2C. Then write the definition of each and write 1 or more examples. So when it comes to the business to business, the exchange of services, information and products from one business to another business partner, because they are exchanging their services and goods from one business to another business. That is from wholesale to retail, that you can take as an example. So here Intel will going to sell their microprocessor to Dell. Then business to consumer, the exchange of services, information and product from business to consumer. So examples are what? Dell selling me a laptop, and website, Flipkart, Amazon, all these are providing a services to the customer. Next we have a consumer to business. So consumer is giving their services to the business. So you can take an example of freelancer here. So that customer directly contact with the business vendor by posting their project work. So they are going to set the budget over online that needs the companies to review it and then contact back the customer directly with a bid. So you can take the example of guru.com, freelancer.com. So customer will going to provide a services to the business. Then consumer to consumer. OLX, you are also wanted to sell something, I wanted to buy something. Then we are both are the customer. That is what we are doing this transaction over the online. E-commerce is simply commerce between private individuals or consumers. Example is what? Ram buying smartphone from Sham using OLX. I told Ram and Sham both are customers here and OLX is the website. From there they are getting their benefits. This is how you have to answer. Out of this, you can select any two which is more comfortable for you and then you can write its definition along with example. We'll see the next question. What is open source software? Mention any two free open source software. So here already we know the definition of this open source software, which is its source code is free but it is not free of cost. So you have to pay. What are the example I have here? GNU bar, Linux and Mozilla Firefox, GIMP, VNC and also we have a VLC. These are the examples which comes under this free open source software. I hope you all understood. It's all about this chapter 16. If you study these many questions, surely you are going to get out from this chapter. Let me meet you in the next session. Until that, keep learning, keep on growing. Thank you.